Just because you're making money as an entrepreneur does not necessarily mean you have a business. There's a big difference between having a hustle and having a business. So in today's video, we're going to break down what the differences in the two are. And then we're going to also make sure that you can walk away with a real system that you can be able to use to get you repeatable results and essentially turn your business, your idea, whatever it is that you're working on, into real profit that can be scalable. You build it one time and we want to be able to profit forever. So as far as, understanding the difference between a hustle, hustling is pretty much going to make you work harder. It's going to require a lot more work from you because it's depending on you. Like everything that you're trying to develop is trying to depend on you. So in a way, you have more of a glorified job more so than a business, where a business actually has real systems in place and it can be able to create sales without you. So business is not just about sales. Anybody can have some type of purchase. We can go out here and sell something and our families can buy from it. And you've made your first sales. You've been able to serve somebody and be able to get a profit in return. But as far as being able to have something that can outlive you, business is not just going to be about sales. It's about having systems in place that can create sales without you. That's the biggest part, without you. You want to be able to have something that's on autopilot. So that means that even if you're not able to show up, you're still able to be able to print money. And that's what we're going to get clear on today. So understanding, in order to be able to get clear, we got to know what both of these actually look like. So on one side, we got hustle. The other side, we have business. One side I like to look at as short term. The other side I like to look at as long term. Because when we're trying to hustle, we're always trying to figure out, pretty much we're chasing money. We're trying to figure out how we can make this dollar extremely fast. And because we're trying to just chase the dollar and everything is focused around this and no real purpose or whatever the case may be. And even if it does have purpose, it may not be, there's the right way to do things and you have to do those things right. So as far as, outside of just chasing, everything that we do is custom, which is what I'm talking about as far as knowing the right things to do and also doing those things in the right way. So because, everything is custom and we don't have any type of real flow inside of the business, or we're making it up as we go. And that's okay, because when you start out, you gotta figure out what works. So trial and error is okay. But we're trying to go from having everything custom. But because you have everything custom, most of the time there's no boundaries in your business. I know for me, one of the biggest things that I had to realize was I can't help everybody. Like at the end of the day, I want to serve everybody. I want to be able to impact everybody, but there's a specific audience that I can be able to help best. And that's what I have to focus on, instead of saying, well, I can help everybody do everything. When I did that in my businesses, or I had to hustle, it wasn't a real business. I thought it was a business because I thought it was paying me like a business, but it was not a real business. Nonetheless, in that time, I was being pulled in so many different directions. And being pulled in so many different directions, I realized that I had to sit down and actually create some type of boundary for myself so that I'm not being pulled in all of these different directions. Now I'm not able to fully be who I'm meant to be. Like I'm being 10% in 10 different things versus being 100% in one thing. So no boundaries was something that I had to identify as a real problem in order for me to be able to change. And until I did that, that's when I was able to identify or see what the solution was. I was able to identify the problem, but the solution was what's going to, take me to the next level, because we're trying to get from hustle to getting over here on the business side. So as far as outside of just not having boundaries, you're making money over here in the hustle. Like we wouldn't be doing this if we weren't, making money. But in us making money, it's always what to do next. Like we're always looking for the next trend. How can we continue to stay afloat? Or if you pretty much, I like to look at the difference in, having money and being wealthy. I like to look at it like this. I like to measure my wealth based off of how long can I not do anything at all? How long can I survive and live inside of the world without having to do anything at all? How much money would it take for me to be able to live 5 years and I didn't work at all in those 5 years? If I'm not able to, live for 5, 10, 20, 25 years, then I'm pretty much chasing. And again, we want to get away from chasing. We don't want to have to sit here and focus on what to do next every single day. We shouldn't ask ourselves, what do we need to do next every single day? We need to be able to measure our wealth by being able to understand that we have some type of brand equity in something that we're building that can be able to outlast us. Because if we're not building something that's able to outlast us, we have a hustle, not a business. So as far as being able to get from being on this left side, and again, don't be so hard on yourself. And I'm talking to self, man, but it's okay to be over here in the hustle side because, clarity and evolution, growth is the best way for us to be able to evolve. So now that we understand where we are in the hustle chain, we got to go from just chasing money and doing anything that can be able to bring us a dollar and focus on solving real problems in the marketplace. And when I say real problems, I mean really big problems. I should real big. All right. We're going to put real big problems that people in the marketplace have. Try to build a business around being able to serve people that already have a lot of money. Go and figure out who the rich people are and solve problems for them because they have real big problems. And because they have real big problems, they have real big dollars that they're willing to pay to be able to solve those real big problems. So outside of, over here, the opposite of doing everything custom, want to be able to have structure plus a real offer. And the real offer has to fit the person that has the real big problems, right? So it's not I don't even want to say real because any offer can be real. I want to say clear because clear is important. Clear is extremely important. We need to have structure instead of just doing everything and winging it. We need to be able to have real structure plus a clear offer in order for us to be able to, grow. And outside of not having, any type of or just not having any boundaries, we want to be able to have systems plus team support because emphasis on team. Because once you have a team of individuals, you have now upped the standard for the quality that you're trying to put out in the marketplace. When you're doing everything by yourself, and it's not saying that you don't have high quality when you're doing things yourself, but you can only do so much so well. Like I had to humble myself in thinking, well, I'm not the best person for every single thing. I have specific gifts. So I have to surround myself with people and have systems that those people can be able to follow, and those people that are using that system, they have to be A players. Like they have to be people that are smarter than me in specific areas. Yes, I know how to create Facebook ads and run ads myself, but there's somebody else that's better at doing that. So I can spend time doing what I'm better at, which is creating the content. Yes, I can be able to create the content, but the goal is to be able to have systems that once I create the content, my team is able to edit the content. And then I have another part of my team that's able to put the content out. Like the part of being able to, and over here on this side, it's just like I'm doing everything by myself. And because I'm doing everything by myself, I have to work harder to do more things when it's like, I want to work smarter. The goal is to not work harder, but to work smarter. And systems makes it easier for you to have smart things or smart outcomes, right? So outside of, just making money, we're trying to build real wealth. Building real wealth plus brand equity, which is what I was speaking about earlier. Brand equity is important because we want to be building something that we can eventually either pass down that has value or that we can sell to a marketplace or buyer that sees more value and has more, that has the equity to be able to, invest inside of the business. Like one example is, I like Kylie Jenner or Rihanna. Like these people have brands. The Rock with Terramana. Like these people have built brands, and those brands is what they don't necessarily have a billion liquid dollars, but they're worth that amount of money because they have a specific type of brand. So instead of just making money, you can make money. Rihanna, Kylie Jenner, they made money. Well, Rihanna made money off of music. The Rock was an entertainer, but going from just having a hustle to a real business, they started to build a brand of some sort, and that brand held equity to where now they have wealth of being billionaires because of something that they owned, something that had value that they were able to pass down. So we want to be able to build a business. In order to do that, like I said, we have to have systems and team support. So outside of just solving real big problems with structure plus a clear offer and having systems, plus real support, you have a business that is now giving you repeatable results without you. Keyword without you, right? We want repeatable results without us. So business is not just about making money. It's about being able to have systems that can make money without you, for you. So now I'm going to give you guys the system that you can be able to focus on, and it's pretty much use and take, because especially if you are trying to build some type of brand, system is not a secret. Well, it is a secret, but they try to keep it, but it's not really a secret. Information is free. You have to pay for specific information, but most information is free. Nonetheless, guys, offer, right? And this is going to be, we're going to have a little wheel that goes around. So outside of your offer, what I was like, if you don't have a real offer, you don't have anything to sell, you can't expect to make money. Like, you have to have something that you are offering, a marketplace of people that have a specific problem. And this is always going to be the start. Like, if you want to be able to make any type of money, you got to focus on having a good enough offer that you can be able to give to people, because the only people that can pay you money, the only thing that can pay you money is people. So the next thing is your audience. So you have an offer for a specific audience, but what's the problem here? Nobody knows that you exist. So now you need content or visibility or marketing, all the same thing. You got to offer, you have something that you've been able to take all of your skills that you have, and you've been able to identify people that have problems that your skills can be able to solve, and you bundled it up inside of an offer that you can make to the marketplace. You made the offer before you got in front of the audience, but the audience does not know who you are. So you need content. You need to be able to become visible. You got to be able to put stuff out in the marketplace so that people can be able to trust who you are. It's pretty hard to have a brand without a story. So your content is where you can be able to create story brands or stories that people can be able to fall in love with and start to trust. And that is what's going to make them go from just an audience to get into the overall part, which next is going to be sales, which is conversion. So the point of creating content is to be able to get sales, right? And then from sales, we have delivery. And then it's a repeat. So I didn't know my will was going to be, we got a kind of a jacked up will. But as far as the system, guys, the system is going to not ever change, really. You have an offer, you have an audience, you got to become visible. And from being visible and putting people in a specific system that's going to get them the result that they're looking for, you now have sales, and then you have to deliver whatever it is that you promised them in your offer. And then you just repeat the cycle. And as far as having a brand, you got to get good at these 5 things. Knowing how to craft an offer to many different people. Having an offer for a zero, you got to have an offer for a $0 to $10, which is essentially free, 0 to or 10 to 100. And this is just examples. 100 to 1,000, 1,000 to 10,000, 10,000 to 100,000. How can you be able to have an offer? How can you create all of these different offers? What value can you be able to give people? What value can you be able to give people that don't have any money right now? How can you be able to still guide them and help them be able to afford your $100,000 offer? And if you don't feel like you can be able to charge $10,000 for an offer, you might need to go and pay it so that you can be able to see how value is going. Like, go and invest in some type of mentorship so that you can be able to see that might be at this price point, and take that risk because you're going to be, once you pay that, you're going to feel like you can now charge that for what it is that you're worth. But create value. The biggest part is being able to create value in some type of way that's going to be bundled up in the offer, because it's an audience that has every single one of these viewpoints. So create content for the people at the free level, and that content is going to push you down this road to getting in front of people that can afford your $100,000 offer. But in the beginning, it's all about making content that's going to be able to convert. And from having conversion, you're going to just deliver whatever promise you have. And then from there, you get your offer repeated and we start over. So last thing that I'm going to go over with you guys before the end of this video is just mindset shifts. So instead of skills, we want to go from skills to systems. Right now, you have a lot of good things that you do, but we got to be able to systemize them. And we have to go from being you-based to offer-based. You-based being everything depends on you. Like, everything is relying on you, versus you have an offer that's on autopilot that can be able to bring in cash flow, and you have a big team and a lot of structure to be able to make sure that you're giving and delivering the high and the most premium offer or quality inside of your business. So when it's you-based, you have a glorified job. When it's offer-based, you have a system that's going to be able to create sales without you. So you want to go from being busy minded. We don't want to just be busy people. Like, being busy is good, but we want to go from being busy to CEO thinking. And the difference in being a busy mind is short term. How can I make money this week? That's the question with a busy mind. A CEO mindset is, how can I make money forever? And you can make money forever by having offer-based businesses that's not structured just around you, and having systems that can be able to provide value to the marketplace. And your system is this right here. Focus on getting good at offers. Focus on being able to nurture and take care of your audience, because they're the most important piece to the entire puzzle. Create content that's going to convert sales, and then deliver whatever promise you have. So that's going to conclude today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you guys did, go ahead, like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.